So, the transfer portal is, I don't think technically open, but it's going to open soon. Players are announcing you're going to see them going in the portal. Offers are being made. Discussions are being had. They've been going on, frankly, for a very long time. We all know this to be true. It's tampering, quote unquote, but I mean, it's just at this point, it's just what it is. So, I got a question from one of you out there about managing the offseason whilst preparing during the season. And my thoughts on this are twofold. Number one, this is why Dan Lanning has a big old staff. This is why he's got a big old salary pool for assistants, for staffers, recruiting people. There are so many people on Oregon's football staff that you don't know, that I don't know, that make a big, tangible impact on the program. That's the first reason. Second thought that I have on this. The college football calendar has been and continues to be completely illogical. Like a lot of things in this great sport that we love so much. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense from an attention standpoint on the sport. It does not make any sense for the calendar of the kids' school years. It does not make any sense for coaching staffs. It doesn't make any sense. What I would like to see, because obviously staffs are capable of handling this. There are smaller staffs in the country that manage these things and are dealing with playoff pushes, but it's hard. It's definitely a challenging thing to do. What I would do if I were the commissioner of college football and, well, really the dictator of college football and could just make it whatever I saw fit, is I'd say, look, no early signing day in December. The season is the season. Focus on the games. Then you take signing day, you move it to February, which is where there is still another signing day. There will be names that Oregon goes after, guys that Oregon's signing, or this flip or that flip, or guys who haven't officially signed. That will still take place. But that should be the primary signing day and the only signing day. As for the transfer portal window, I'm on board actually with having two portal windows open, partially for my own reasons because it makes for good content on the shows, but partially because I don't think it's unreasonable to say, okay, you can hit the portal, but it shouldn't be till after the season. Should not be during the season. Should be after the college football season ends. Like the week after the national championship game is played. That's when the transfer portal should open. Keep it open there. That'll be kind of at the end of January or so for a while until National Signing Day, because then once the season's over, you don't have games to prepare for. Then you can actually put all of your time, effort, resources effectively and efficiently into talent acquisition and building a roster. And then I am okay having another transfer portal window after the spring as well for guys who want to find a different home. I understand that presents a challenge. Coaches don't like that one as much. But I do think if you're going to have the transfer portal, it does make some sense for it to be there. So it's just something Oregon's got to be able to do. And the first notable transfer is not necessarily an impact guy, but could have been one day. Shaq McCroy has hit the transfer portal. Did not see this one coming. So he is the largest recruit Oregon's ever had, not rankings-wise, physically. He is the biggest. He's 6'8", 365. He has immense size. I do not know why he's transferring. I do not know where he's going to transfer to. He's from the state of Alabama. I think Colorado was after him. They need offensive linemen all the time. Curious to see where he winds up. This is a guy who presents a unique physical skill set and does not look or move like other players, for better or worse. And certainly he was a project because of his size. But he is also a unique asset because of his size, and he's hitting the transfer portal, and I did not expect that. I mean, you don't see a lot of true freshmen, offensive or defensive linemen that play. Even on the defensive side of the ball, it tends to be the outside guys, right? Last year, Blake Purchase, Mateo Uyunglele, Tatum Tuioti all played as true freshmen, edge guys. You need time in a college weight room. It is different. You are the biggest guy on the field in high school. You are the smallest guy on the field from a muscle standpoint when you get to college football, especially at the Big Ten level and SEC and any power conference. It is completely and utterly different. So there are just not that many true freshman linemen that can play offensively. There are not that many true freshman interior guys that can play defensively. You know, Poncho playing as much as he did last year, or Josh Connerly playing as much as he did in the jumbo package in 2022. Those guys are outliers, anomalies. Dan Lanning has spoken before about how the trenches are places that you need a year or two to build up and get your body into shape, to hit the weight room, get on the right eating plan, get your weight where it needs to be, and learn the offense, learn techniques, and get used to going against other Power 4 caliber guys. So, yeah, I was surprised. Obviously, I don't wish him any ill will. He clearly didn't see a path to playing time. I think it's a subtle reminder that though a lot of other guys get more attention, Oregon has quietly done a good job recruiting offensive linemen, and McCroy was certainly going to be a tackle. So there's someone or something about that offensive line room where he does not see playing time in 2025. I really don't think, haven't talked to the kid before, I don't think he could have expected to be playing in his true freshman season. Maybe he did, but I doubt it. I think he's looking at what is coming into this offensive line room, and he doesn't see playing time next year and feels like he could get it elsewhere. So that's the first notable name that is transferred out for the Ducks. This question came in, by the way, from In the Sticks with Knicks. Thoughts on Notre Dame being able to get the 5 seed? I don't think they're going to get the 5 seed. I do not. Talked about that with Zach Seiko, Locked On Nittany Lions yesterday. They could technically get it. They'll get a home playoff game, and the schedule that they play every year, I think, is worthy of being able to get to a home playoff game. I know they lost to NIU, but it's college football. This is just the world that we've created for ourselves. Didn't have to be this way, but it is certainly this way. But Notre Dame doesn't play a group of 5 schedule. They play a Power 4 schedule. They play a bunch of ACC teams. They play USC every year. They usually throw in a big game like a Texas A&M or I think they play Florida State to begin next season. Florida State or Miami. Oh, yeah, it's Notre Dame and Miami next year. Like, I'm not off-put by Notre Dame's schedule and the idea that they could get a home playoff game. You go 11-1 with that schedule, yeah, I think you should. Now, the loss is to NIU, so if you want to say, hey, you shouldn't be able to do that, I'm not going to push back. I just know that the committee won't, so I'm not really going to spend too much time on it there. But I don't think they're going to be the 5 seed, which is the most advantageous non-bye position that you can have as a college football playoff team. As I've discussed before on the show, you get the Group of 5 and Big 12 champion in no particular order based on the current projections. That could change depending on how things shake out in conference championship weekend. But it'll be Penn State or Oregon. Whoever loses the Big Ten championship game should be the 5 seed. I think they'd give it to Texas before they give it to Notre Dame. And the NIU loss should be the reason why. Should absolutely be the reason why. I hope the committee does that. But ordinarily, Notre Dame 11-1, sure, put them as the 5 seed. That's fine. But when the loss is to NIU, no, you shouldn't get that particular benefit. Wanted to wrap with this. Oregon Hoops on Wednesday did the same thing. I mean the same thing. They had 23 points in the first half. They scored 44 in the second. They somehow managed to beat USC by 7 points, 67-60. They go to 9-0. They are undefeated, still ranked inside the top 15. Did not play a great game. There were a number, and I mean a number, of questionable foul calls going either way. The free throws started to stabilize a bit from a balance standpoint in the second half. Jackson Shelstad had a career-high 24 points, 24, 25 points. He was great in the second half. He had 2 points in the first. Oregon just doesn't play a good first half of basketball, but they found the run. It started with defense. They hit a couple of threes. I've got plenty more thoughts on where this basketball team is at. I'll save them for Monday's episode when I'll do a full segment recap of whatever happens in the UCLA game on Sunday. Win or lose, Oregon will remain ranked and in just a really good position, building their at-large resume. But they're 1-0 in Big Ten conference play, and it always feels good to beat USC, no matter the sport, of course. But this was not a pretty game. Foul trouble, turnovers, missing open shots, sloppy play. But they found a way in the second half. Dana is just an adjustment king. He is Nick Aliotti right now. He is making every single adjustment that he needs to at halftime to completely dominate in the second half and win games. And you play a full 40 minutes for a reason. And Oregon plays a full 40 because they don't play the first 20. They play the second 20, and really it's the final 10 where they play their best ball. And Keyshawn Barthelemy continues to be the most important offensive player on the team. That is not even close. It is not Shelstad. It is not Biddle. It is not Tracy, it is not Bamba, who had a terrible game and Oregon found a way to win anyway. Keyshawn Barthelemy is the most important offensive player on this Oregon team. But the important thing, especially in college basketball, we saw this with the football team as well against Wisconsin. Survive an event, just win. Just find a way to win. And you know what? At the end of the year, you're not going to look back and say, boy, Oregon doesn't have any experience in close games. No, they've already got a ton of it. And they're just finding ways to win. So good on Dana Altman. Good on the Ducks for finding a way to win an ugly game when the calls were going against them. That one felt pretty darn good. And UCLA is a big showdown at Matthew 9 Arena on Sunday. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.